So hi everyone, it's that time of week again for your Tribal review, and I'm sorry if there's any sort of notification sounds happening because I've got like 60 million chat messages open. Anyway, so I've got to say, I'm going to start off by saying that over the past over the past couple of episodes, I've been kind of getting really bored with all the storylines, just wanting things to wrap up, and I think this episode really delivered in that sort of area. Everything is really coming to a head now, and you can really tell. I'm really glad that the Terry storyline is completely finished. Thank God. It just was boring, and I just think they used it as filler, which you can definitely tell because considering everything that happened last episode with him shooting Patrick, you'd think they'd have like a little segment of Terry feeling bad or whatever. But obviously they didn't have that, so I think they just wanted to get it over and done with, and they just did what they should have done right from the beginning and just got rid of it. So yeah, this is definitely, I think, probably my favourite episode out of the season so far. You probably know why it was my favourite episode, but I'm going to save that for last because I was just in tears throughout that bit. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the least exciting. And that would probably be the whole Jessica, Jason and Hoyt thing. So it's really good that Hoyt, I do like Hoyt as a character, but I think they kind of put him down a really bad path and they give him a really sort of boring storyline, and I think they knew that the storyline wasn't really up to scratch. So I think they just kind of wanted to get rid of him, get him off the show. I don't know if he's going to be in next season, but I think it's pretty final the fact that Jessica glamoured him to forget her and Jason, and he's going to move off to Alaska and have a new life. So hopefully Hoyt's going to go through that, and I really do like Hoyt. I think it was stupid what he did going with the shifter killers, the Obama mask wearing people, but he got over that, and now he's like looking for a new life, looking for a new way to start things again. So yeah, I'm completely supportive on that notion. One thing that irritated me was when Jessica was like, "Oh, are you sure you want to do this?" It was like, no offense, but why? Why would he want to remember you? Like, you've done nothing but cause him pain. Like, he spends all night thinking of you, all day thinking of you. Like, you broke his heart so many times. You screwed him over so badly. Like, what? Like, why are you so egotistical to think, "Oh, Hoyt, please, don't forget me"? Because you can say, "Oh, don't forget me" as much as you want. Doesn't mean you'll actually be a good person to him, because it's been pretty evident that Jessica is nothing good to Hoyt. She's just selfish towards him, in my personal opinion, over the past couple of seasons. So yeah, um, but as much as I feel the same about Jason, he was definitely more grown up about it, and I think he was less selfish. I think the bond between Jason and Hoyt is more profound than the bond between Jessica and Hoyt, and it's because Jason and Hoyt have known each other since they were best friends. And that scene where he kind of turns around and stops him, you can tell that he's trying to make him remember, but then he realizes, you know what? No, it's best for him to get out of the town to start a new life. It's something that Hoyt needs, and for me that was really poignant, and it was like, oh, really glad that Hoyt's getting out of the town and moving on. I like this scene with his mother. I actually really like Maxine. She's a bitch basically, but just because she's a bitch doesn't mean she's not enjoyable. I think she's a good character. She's funny. When she called Jessica, was it a Cheeto head tramp or something? I couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny. Yeah, and then we saw Holly this episode. I was really happy about that. I really like Holly. I'm not really too bothered about Andy. Like, for me, he's on the same level as Terry. He's just boring. I don't think he needs his own storyline, and now that whole thing's gone away. Though I'm kind of worried, like, whatever happened to sort of this whole Alcide thing and this Debbie Pelt thing, because earlier on in the season, Andy and sorry, there's a car going past. Andy and Jason discovered Debbie Pelt's car, and then it was just never mentioned again. And considering that her parents were dragged into it and everything, I was like, okay, whatever. Weird. Maybe that's just going to be something that's kind of going to be left off, and I don't know. Maybe they're gonna tie that into Suki's storyline where she's like in this contract, whatever. But yeah, and then we have, oh yeah, that ties in with the whole. Actually, it doesn't really tie in really. I just think it gave a chance to see Lafayette go back to his good old self, and I really love that Lafayette, and I really hope, even though he's gone back to that old self, I really want him to explore his whole Brujo side more. It just kind of felt a bit anticlimactic the way they mentioned it, and then they just completely dropped it, and I was like, what's going on here? It's kind of weird. So I don't know why there's so many cars go past outside. It's like 10:30 at night, whatever. Weird. Yeah, they just kind of dropped this whole like power thing with him. Him going to Mexico is completely redundant. Like, what on earth? Why? And I want him to. I want this whole Jesus thing sorted out because it's really confusing. I'm like, oh, why bring in if you're gonna? Why bring in so many things if you're just not gonna answer them? Because they seem to have done that a lot this season. But yeah, and then we have Suki. Her storyline, I actually really liked in this episode. She wasn't annoying. I think having read Deadlocked, which is book number 12 in the Suki Stackhouse series and the penultimate book in the series, and you can check out my review. I really hate book Suki. I hate her so much. I cannot stand her. So seeing her on screen after having read Deadlocked, I think it's a breath of fresh air. It's refreshing. It's good to see her actually being an amicable person, someone that you can actually kind of like, even if you think that she kind of has that the show kind of turns to shit when she has like relationships because it just gets boring. But yeah, I liked it. It was funny when she was at the beginning. That coroner guy, I was like, I thought it was a dream sequence at first. I was like, what on earth? Then she killed him with chopsticks, and it's good to see that she's kind of get the whole hang on this vampire killing thing. As much as I think she should have a bit more compassion, I don't want her to completely lose all her compassion with everything that's happening. I think it's good to show that her life isn't just all wrapped up in vampire business and whatnot. It's about other things as well, which is obviously what we see in the sort of fairy issue. So yeah, then she finds the scroll, and it's really good to see Jason actually being the intelligent one here. That was good. And they got the scroll, and they went to the university, and it was like just completely like random letters. It was like an alphabet. So having gone to the club, that fairy who read the scroll thing, she was beautiful. She was like really glowy. That's like how I imagine fairies to look. Really stunning, glossy. She just, of course, she was pregnant. She had that sort of like maternal glow about her, but she was just gorgeous. I just thought she was amazing. But it was kind of a bit of a Deus Ex Machina, I guess. The fact that she knew all this like stuff, but when they made it out to seem like really covert secret knowledge, I was like, okay. But yeah, so Suki's like been roped into this whole contract where she is the firstborn female since like 1702, who's part fairy, the first female fae in the family for like 300 years, over 300 years. So I think next season it's all going to be about Suki maybe killing off the fairies, or not killing them off, but like discovering why this happened. But maybe in the last 2 episodes of this season, which is next week or the week after, we're going to discover this whole like fairy shenanigans, because Suki's going to have to be involved in the finale somehow, unless she's not, which would be kind of weird, but it'd be a kind of new kind of concept. Anyway, so I think next season it's going to be all about her killing Wallow, whatever his name was, discovering what this whole contract was about, what was given in exchange, blah blah blah, and what Claudine had to do with it, because Claudine was the one who went to stop Wallow the vampire from killing her parents. Of course, she failed, but she was in that scene, so I think that was kind of important as well. Considering now we've got Claude on the scene, Claude in the TV show is so different from the books, and I'm really glad, because I really hate Claude in the books. He's just irritating for having been in so many books, and then it was just irritating because he was just in there for too long. Anyway, so I'm actually kind of liking Claude, and the other one, I don't know what her name is. Is it Claudette? Claudeness or something? I don't know what her name is. Claudia? Anyway, yeah. So that's all going to be about this thing next season, Suki's Fairy Heritage. The whole fairy thing really just kind of boring to me, but maybe that was because it was in the books. Maybe on the TV show they'll actually make it watchable. I don't know. And I really want to know about Jason's fairy heritage, because for like 2 seasons, it's all about Suki having all these fairy powers. What about Jason? It's kind of weird. But they might just say, oh, his fairy power kind of is kind of manifested in his like good looks and his charisma, because he does get a lot of girls. You know, we know that since like the first episode of the show. So yeah, and then Tara and Pam, I really love this storyline. It's amazing. I love the fact that Tara this season was just kind of like, you know what, F you, I'm not going anywhere. And it was really good to see Pam kind of like breaking down, not being that ice cold queen, because she does realise that things are going to crap. But I wonder what the repercussions are going to be for Tara killing, what's his name, Elijah? I think it's Elijah, yeah. And I really want them to get together. Like, I know they are together kind of thing, because Pam was like, oh yeah, she's my progeny, I can't, I'm not going to leave you sort of thing. And that was really sweet, but I really, really want them to kind of explore this more. It's definitely one of my favourite pairings on the show. Probably my favourite, actually, because there's not been many like romance angles, I don't think, in this season, which is new, but I really like them together. I love Tara and I love Pam, so yeah, amazing. Then this whole American Vampire League, it's interesting. Obviously, it's going to be the main vein of the season for the finale. People are going to die. I don't think Eric's going to die. I don't think Bill's going to die, but I'm just kind of weirded out by his sudden like 118 personality. Like, when you first saw him at the beginning of the show, he had so much honor. Okay, yeah, he was a douchebag when he went and killed Suki's uncle, even though he did molest her, but he was strong, he was quiet, he was powerful in a sort of refined way. In this season, he just seems to be an asshole. Like, it just seems completely unrealistic to me that he just all of a sudden turn around and just be all religious for no reason. Like, part of me thinks it's an act. So I don't know. Hopefully it's an act. I do like Bill in general. I like him last season and this season before this whole religion thing. So I hope they bring that amazing King Bill back. But yeah. And then Russell Edgington, his accent was amazing when he got really angry and he threw Salome across the room. I mean, screw Salome, I don't care about her, she's just horrible. I think he's French. Is he meant to be French? It was really good though. And then he was like, oh yeah, he's obviously back on this whole like fairy spiel where he's trying to walk in the sun. I think he was using the Lilith thing at first to build it up, but now I think he's realised that he wants more than Lilith. So obviously it's like really, I think he's going to go after Suki, and maybe this is going to be endgame. Maybe it's something tied in with Warlow and Suki's contract or whatever, I don't know. And then finally, Sam and Luna, Emma, it was good to see Luna actually be really proactive this episode. I love that. Hopefully they're going to get Emma back. Steve really is just an asshole. Him and Russell's relationship is really sweet, but I think it's kind of cheesy. It's just kind of, they had like 2 gay vampire characters. They didn't really have to be together, but whatever. And then of course Godric. Okay, I'm just gonna say I've got like less than 40 seconds left, but I love Godric. I didn't expect him to be. I thought maybe they were just gonna completely do away with him after the last time he appeared. But he was amazing. I was crying, I was screaming, I was like, oh, the way Eric reacted, and then they called him father, and he was like, oh, I'm not the one who has to fight Lily, you have to fight Lily for yourself, in your hearts, obviously, it's like subconscious, and they know it's wrong. But yeah, I'm gonna have to stop. I really could go on for hours about Godric, and I love it. So thanks for listening, and yeah, Bye!